basically hydrogen takes out of the equation all of the things that you would associate as bad with gasoline. I mean, there are no emissions, no NOx, SOx, or CO2 emissions, greenhouse gas emissions. It can be made domestically. It can be made from many different sources, so many different companies. It can have competition unlike gasoline ever had, and that could end up with the consumer having a much lower cost. Also, it has the possibility of being much more durable. So it makes a little bit of heat, makes water that goes out the tailpipe. It's the only emission. It makes the electricity, which goes through these orange wires to keep the compressor running, to keep the system running, power steering, power brakes, the radio, AC, everything you're used to, and of course the direct drive electric motor. The car has no transmission, just a direct drive motor that goes through both the front wheels to go from 0 to 100 miles an hour and back down without ever changing a gear.
Let's take it for a spin. It's very smooth, very efficient. I thought the pickup was there. All of the things I like to see in driving a car were there. You had a good brake system, you had good pickup, you had maneuverability, you had room. It's a fine car. I think the transmission and such, the push button forward and backwards and park. I think the new type system, high tech, but I guess it's a surprise that it's efficient and you catch on quick. Within a block, you're driving. I would love to see this thing catch on. I think if it's coming out at a competitive price and you're not sacrificing cost of living, but you're improving the quality of life through the environmental improvements, I think it's a win-win. I think it'll catch on like fire. I will buy one. Well, I think if we catch on, the United States, I think it's going to contribute to job growth because we're going to be mass producing these. I think it will transfer from blue collar and brown collar to green collar, yes. Provide incentives to enable that, but we don't want too much government in this other than don't get in our way.
There are a lot of alternative fuels out there, and although this will not be the next step, we see this as being the last step. Ethanol is a fantastic fuel in that it can be domestically produced and it can decrease emissions, but it still does have emissions. Ethanol can be reformed, though, into hydrogen, and what's left over lends itself very well to making biodegradable plastics. So there's almost a zero waste cycle there. Also, hybrids have greatly increased in efficiency over traditional internal combustion engines, but they still produce some emissions because they still burn gasoline. A fuel cell vehicle produces only water as its emission, deionized water, the definition of pure water.